Hey guys, Dave here. This turned into a little bit bigger of a project than I was hoping, so had to pull rear tires, pull the diff back. This thing right here, the barkers, would not come apart. So evidently after 5,000 miles, these are pretty much seized together. Could not get them off in multiple pieces. Therefore, sorry if this is a little shaky, I had to push the diff back, pop the drive shaft out, undo all my motor mounts, and move the whole engine. I literally had this ratchet strap right here hooked to my rack and to the top of the head. I cranked it, was able to tilt the engine a couple inches so I could get the whole exhaust out. What a pain in the butt. That held me up yesterday. I would have actually had that off and done. Put the engine top dead center, drained all the fluids. Pump still feels good. Now to the problem. So I'm gonna have to pull this. I got a little bit of give here in my crank. I'm gonna have to pull the motor, I think. I took a picture. I pulled the drain plug. I took a picture of what was on it. There was actually, what come to find out now, is the clamp for the wrist pin, and I'll show you that in a sec. So here's more parts laying over here in my rebuilt Oka shocks. Over here I got the CVT, all that garbage. Come around here, I got more bolts and the oil line coming off of the crankcase up to the head. Yeah, pulled everything off. There you can see it. I pulled the differential back and popped that off so that I could tilt the engine for motor mounts. So the damage that I found is right here. I pulled the head, inspecting the head. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. You know, got a little bit of carbon here, but not anything terrible. Hell, my stock head actually looked worse. But there's nothing on here that looks like the valves made contact with the piston. So, pulled that off. Everything looks good. Standard head. Got over to here, and holy shit. There's my piston. I don't know if you can see that. There's a nasty crack there. Went all the way through the piston. Cracked all the way to the bottom. You can see that crack? Nasty. Going all the way through. That's the root cause of my problem. Today's a sad day. And so that's the piston. That's nasty. I'll show you again one more time. Hopefully it's focusing here. You can see it cracked all the way through that son of a gun. When I pulled it off of the crank, the wrist pin just slid right out. There was no... Oh yeah, it's actually still there. So the wrist pin busted straight off of there. There, if you can see, the ring is actually still in there. That surprises me. How in the hell? There, you can see that side came off. So the wrist pin on this side busted off, and that's what was stuck to my gold plug when I drained the oil. There was a part of that. The rest of it's still in the bottom of the case. If you go, wrist pin itself looks fairly normal minus that, but there's a big old gouge in my cylinder now. That's a deep gouge. Other than that, cylinder was pretty spotless up until then. That's the only problem. Big old nasty. I can take my finger catches on it. Right there, really bad. So that's at the top. That's the results of about 15 minutes full throttle, time and time again. drifting snow. And a big boom when you're full throttle. Yeah, there's another good one of the nasty scrape. Hopefully you can see that. Other than that, dang, the cylinder was nice. That's 5,000 miles and I don't have a single scar other than my piston exploding. Alright. Yeah, like I said, this has been quite the build. There's the throttle body and everything else. I'm gonna end up pulling the whole bottom end out and cracking the case. I got junk in there, I can tell already. Alright, see you guys.